Hey guys, Flippin' Landlord Ninja here.
Kevin the Property Prince.
And we are Two Guys Take on Real Estate.
Two Guys Take on Real Estate.
So we're here today to talk about 3 steps for wholesaling.
That's right. We're going to go over 3 simple steps about the wholesaling process that can help get your real estate career off the ground.
So please make sure you watch to the end and like and subscribe so that you can share it with all the others out there that are looking to get into wholesaling.
Absolutely. The more you subscribe, ring the notifications bell, and add comments, the more we'll push our videos up the algorithm and can reach out to other people to help them understand this important part of real estate.
Exactly. And we're looking to pay it forward so you guys can learn from our mistakes.
And we've made plenty of those.
Oh, yeah.
Step 1 in wholesaling is finding the property. Now, you can go about this in numerous ways. You can put out bandit signs. You can go on putting an ad in Facebook. You can buy lists online and send out postcards. But the easiest way, I think, getting started for $0 is driving for dollars. So that's what I'm going to show you right now what we do here. So you want to go drive around your neighborhood and you're going to look for distressed property. That's the easiest way to start. You're going to look for overstuffed mailboxes, tarps on roofs, boarded up property, broken windows. You're going to look for a lot of that. So I'm going to take you here. So you're going to look for places that are unshoveled. You got broken windows. The house has obviously been abandoned. You got a broken mailbox, unkept hedges, trash in the yard. The next step is you're going to want to try to find the owner. And you can do that for a variety of ways. One way is talking to the neighbor, or you can go on to the assessor's database in your area or the registry of deeds, and you can find the last registered owner. Then what you're going to want to look to do is do a skip trace, which there's multiple stuff online, different ones like PropStream and stuff like that, where you can do a skip trace and get a cell phone number or an address of where they're currently living. And then you can either mail them out a letter, or better yet, give them a call or send them a text message. Text messages work really, really well right now.
You're watching Two Guys Take on Real Estate. I'm Kevin the Property Prince, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit more about the wholesaling process and what to do next after you've identified a target property and located the current owner. But before we get into that, please take a moment and subscribe to our channel. Ring the notifications bell so you can stay updated with further videos on this topic. We have a lot to talk about here. Now let's get into how to negotiate a wholesale deal with the current owner of the property. So really this is a situation where you need to be ready to make an offer on a property, but you don't want to make an offer too quickly before you've had a chance to actually interact a bit with the owner. You need to help identify why the owner should and needs to sell the property. In talking about that, you'll be helping the owner understand their own motivation, which they often don't realize or have a full appreciation of. Having and understanding the need to sell the property will make them realize their price and their value can be much, much more lower and flexible and make the deal that much more advantageous for you. The reason that's important to you is you're going to be needing to resell this property and sell it very quickly. You can't do that if you lock it in at too high of a price. So you want to talk to the owner, identify some of their pain points, their frustrations, their cost of holding the property, those types of things, and then talk to them about the condition of the property. Hopefully at this point you've done a thorough investigation, at least of the outside of the property. If you need to get in and see more, you can coordinate that and set up a few minutes of walkthrough with an owner to get access to the property. But bottom line is you want to identify to the owner just how expensive and how challenging it will be to renovate this property so he can get maximum value for it. Obviously, they're not looking to do that because they would have done it at this point. So that's going to be on you, the buyer, to have to do. So they need to appreciate that it's going to cost a significant amount of money in rehab. That, of course, comes out of the value of the property that they may be asking at full market value. So you can essentially start setting their expectations early by making them realize that the value of the property is a lot less and they're very motivated, so they're willing or should be willing to take a lower number than top market value. And then you're furthering that process by helping them understand that the property needs a lot of work, and you're starting to help them put, at least in their mind, dollar values to the amount of work that property truly needs. Once that's done, it's fairly easy to start throwing out numbers. Now, throwing out a number and an offer to a seller may be an insulting situation if you're like lowballing somebody. However, if you set the stage properly, you're actually not lowballing them at all. And if they were to react that way, you can quickly say, oh my gosh, I don't mean any offense. I thought we kind of covered all the work that this property needs. What are you talking about? This is a great price that I'm offering you for it. And you can come with a sense of sincerity because you've already set the stage for that. If you didn't do all of those things and your homework thoroughly on the property to get them ready for your low offer, they're going to turn around and feel attacked, feel like their time is being wasted, feel that you're not serious and that you're trying to rip them off. If you've done those steps properly, they're not going to have anywhere close to that level of feeling. They may still reject that low offer. However, they have a much, much more comfortable sense of it that you're coming from a place of credibility versus a place of just throwing them a lowball number to rip them off. That's a great starting point because no matter what your starting off number is, there's a great chance that they're going to say no to it anyway. However, maybe you settle up at $70,000. Maybe your initial offer, however, was $40,000. They may reject that, but at least it gives you a great starting point, and you can turn around and reject them right back on their premise by saying, no, what are you talking about? I'm not lowballing you. I'm not ripping you off. This property needs a lot of work, and it's costing you $6,000 a year in taxes to sit on this place. We talked about that stuff. Remember, this is, I think, a great offer. Now you can then go from there and work back and forth, and it becomes a simple negotiation at that point. Simple, of course, working sometimes in thousands and thousands of dollars, but you get the idea. They may want $80,000. You've offered them $40,000. Now you just are certainly looking for a way to meet in the middle. Help them understand that you aren't going to be looking to do and renovate and buy this house for nothing. You want to make something for your time. Otherwise, you could, if you were going to pay full retail price for a property, simply go and buy one off of the MLS with a realtor. You are going to instead take on the project for yourself, or one of your assignees, one of your flippers is going to take on the project so they can put their time, their hard work into it, etc. And they want to make something for their time. Otherwise, nobody would buy this and they would simply just buy one retail condition for full retail price. So going through that stuff, helping them understand what the process is very, very important. Helping them understand that nobody's going to buy this if there's not a dollar to be made because the seller is the one now being unreasonable and trying to rip somebody off. It's not a psychological thing. You're not tricking anybody. You're helping to show them and spin the table around a little bit to help them see from the other perspective what they have, what the cost might be, and why anybody would want to buy something like that. So that's a great tactic to use. It's a great way to be honest up front and help people understand the truth from different persons' perspectives. Once you can do all that, they're much, much more flexible and understanding. Now, doesn't mean that they're going to do the right thing and make a deal on the property. They may choose to say, no, not going to happen, can't let it go that cheap, but don't really have any good real answer for why. Well, that's fine. They may be stuck kind of in their mind, and you may have to give them a little bit of time to understand that and come to grips with it, and then follow up with them a few days later, a few weeks later, maybe even a few months later, if that's what it takes. But you've kind of broken that ice with them, set their expectations. Sometimes it takes some folks a little while to kind of warm up to your logic and your reasons for how they can solve their problem of this house sitting there. After that happens, if you are able to come together to a number and maybe you negotiated and ended up at $70,000, you should be willing to immediately sign that contract and put down your down payment. You should never, ever, ever give them time to rethink this. You should immediately, you're ready to buy. You thought you were doing business with somebody that was ready to sell. So why wouldn't you, after you've agreed on your terms, absolutely put it down right there in writing? The only thing you can gain from giving people a week or a day or a few days or whatever it is to meet up with you to make the stuff get signed, the only thing you have to gain is a waste of your time because they backed out of it or they immediately went trying to get a better offer, competing with somebody else somewhere else. So the next thing you need to do is have your contract ready and make sure you immediately put it under contract and bind it with some type of cash down payment offer. What I like to do is I like to meet them in person. Hopefully I'm doing a lot of this in person already. Have your contract, put a $100 bill with that, maybe a couple $100, whatever you'd like to do for your down payment. Have it all signed and filled out, and then take a picture with your phone of that changing hands. So this way, there's no doubt about it at later points that money changed hands, you performed on your contract, you've already paid the down payment, and you're closing in the next couple of weeks. I hope that was helpful. There's a lot more we can go into for details on that, and we will be doing that in upcoming videos. So make sure you click the notifications icon on our channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can stay tuned, and we'll be talking about all these all these topics in much detail later as the channel grows. Thank you.
So let's talk about the last part. We're talking about how to find a buyer for that property you just got under contract. Right?
That's great. Yeah, you worked really hard. You targeted a property. You've convinced a seller to give you a great contract price on it. And now what do?
So there's a couple things. You're going to either sell the contract or do what's called a double close. That's basically where you close at the same time you're buying it and selling it. So there's just basically an exchange of paperwork.
Okay, so if you're assigning the contract, basically the contract you have written up says you're either going to buy it yourself or you have the option to assign it to somebody else that is going to buy it instead.
Correct.
Okay, great. So wow, now all you got to do is just find somebody that all of a sudden wants to buy a house like fast, I guess.
Right. So if you haven't already built your buyer's list, there's a couple key ways to actually build that buyer's list.
Yeah, and you should be doing that the whole time. You should be building your buyer's list while you're out also looking for properties to put under contract. You got to work both sides of this equation.
Exactly. And one way to do that is actually finding your local real estate meetup groups and stuff like that, and go attend them and just network with people. Find out who's buying in your area.
Yeah.
And that's an easy way right now. I mean, it's low supply, so people are really looking for property.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Matt. The social aspect to this is very important. Start making acquaintances, friends. Start hanging out with people in the real estate world. Join Facebook groups like crazy. There's such and such area investor groups, for your location. Join those things and start getting your name out there a little bit. But most importantly, start keeping track of people that tell you that they are interested in acquiring a house and maybe doing a flip someday.
Yeah, create a Google Doc sheet or something like that where you can keep all that information in one place, right. And kind of you can separate it out. So if they're looking for multifamily, single families, whatever it might be.
Have all their contact information that you can get in there, their phone numbers, their emails, that kind of thing. And as soon as you get this contract signed, you should be blowing up that buyer's list.
Exactly.
You want to give them as much time and heads up as you possibly can. You want to get the word out to as many of your potential buyers as possible. Why do you want so many different buyers interested in the property now?
Why? Well, because they can sell it for the highest price.
I mean, it's just like putting any other house on the market. You're hopefully going to get competing offers. So if you got a house under contract at, we'll say $70,000, you immediately start You start talking to your buyers list.
Oh yeah, right. I generally have a preferred buyers list, people that you sell to consistently, and go to them first, because why wouldn't you treat your best customers the best?
Absolutely. They also have done business with you. They know this stuff works. They want to buy more property. They've already bought. And
they close on the deal.
Yep. They're going to perform. They know you're going to deliver exactly what they're looking to buy. Accurate ARVs, rehab estimates that are pretty reasonable, and a vacant, cleaned out, no muss, no fuss property.
Exactly.
So why do you talk to multiple people? Well, you want to get a bidding war going, sure, but also you want to sell this thing quickly. So it gives you the best option to sell and make sure this property gets closed.
Exactly.
And what do you do? What do you tell them how much the property sells for? How do you figure that out?
Well, I mean, you can either be direct and say, hey, I've got it under contract. I'm looking to make X fee. I mean, being honest and open, it's not a bad policy at all.
Absolutely not. Everybody thinks that if they know you're making money on this, they're just going to say, no, that's not fair. You're not doing anything. That's not how this works whatsoever.
Exactly. And why would we want to, pay someone a fee? Well, you know why? Our time's valuable.
And they know that too. Their time is valuable because they have the renovation skills, the abilities to get a property up and running and then resold very, very quickly. That's what they're great at. They recognize what you're great at, and they're willing to pay for that service.
Exactly.
So if they're happy to make 30, 40, whatever thousands of dollars they're going to make, they're not going to turn away a deal where they can make that money if they know you're making money. It doesn't make any sense.
Very well said, Kevin.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Every once in a while, something comes out just the right way.
But so that's how you're going to find the buyers. Once again, go to the RIAs, check out Facebook groups, just posting the property up on a Facebook group and saying, hey, DM me, and you're going to get a ton of DMs. Trust me.
Absolutely right. There's a lot of buyers right now, but this is something that, again, you can use in any market, is to network with people that are interested in buying properties. Can't say that enough. Don't neglect this part of the process. We've seen it where people have gotten stuff under contract and have no idea where to go with it.
Yep.
So don't let that be you. Make sure you're successful. We're going to be continuing to put up videos about wholesaling on our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, for some crazy reason, subscribe to this channel. Click that button. Ring the notification alarm. Why is it important to ring that notification alarm?
Wow, so you get to know when we're posting new videos.
We're posting new videos all the time. You don't want to miss out. This is some great stuff, but we're posting about a wide variety of real estate topics here on our channel. We want you to stay informed so that you can be successful.
Exactly. Learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, don't learn from our mistakes. Don't make them if you don't have to. We'll blaze the path for you.
Exactly.
So thanks, folks, for tuning in and learning about wholesaling with us today. If you haven't already, take a minute and just gently click on that subscribe button. Make sure that thing clicks all the way. Yeah, absolutely. Do a thorough job. And because if you do that, it'll help boost us up the ranking so other people can see this really important information about how to get their start in real estate too.
Thanks, guys.
Best of luck.